Hey, welcome back to the Grid Culture. Before we get this video started, make sure you hit the like button to subscribe. The subscribe above anything help boost this channel. Back from a little hiatus. Really haven't been posting much, but on top of that, I was also suspended from YouTube for extremely dumb reasons. Basically about a video that I made, my fastest book, basically criticizing Facebook for marking certain posts as misinformation, even though it could be proven as true. And also backed with, they talk about following the science. It could be backed with, medical information. But this is basically me defending somebody else. And I have the same video up on Facebook, but Facebook hasn't done anything with it. They didn't take it down or anything like that. But YouTube felt like it was medical misinformation, so they gave me a strike and they took the video down. Funny, huh? So I was banned for 7 days, but nonetheless, man, I'm back. And there's been a lot happening. And one of the things that's been circulating in the news is Aries and Tiffany Haddish. Now, if you don't know, Aries has been in the news a lot lately, namely for what he said about Lizzo. And it's funny because of the timing and everything, but basically what he said about Lizzo on the Art of Dialogue. Now, one thing I got to look, man, is, hey, finally on the Art of Dialogue, this ain't no criticism, but it just seems like, man, all the time it's about death row. That's what most of their content is about, death row. So it's kind of good to see them diving into some other topics. But they had Aries on there and in an interview, and he was asked about Lizzo and what he thinks about her musical talents, and he proceeded to talk about her being fat and everything, talking about her looks, which, of course, got a lot of backlash. A lot of backlash, and a lot of people, basically were like, who are you to say anything? Looking the way you do. Which I think he was pretty much prepared for, especially him as a comedian. He's going to roast somebody. Anybody should be ready, especially when they're going to put themselves out there in that way. Anybody should be ready for the backlash, or if you're going to dish it out, you better be ready to take it. But Lizzo wasn't even the only one that he talked about in that interview. He was talking about Lil Wayne, Lil Wayne's looks, and Jay-Z, roasting them too. It's just Lizzo's the one that made the headline. It's funny because I've always said about Lizzo, she could take a lot of, and she didn't deserve that. But like I said, it's jokes, and comedians gonna have jokes. And like I said, you dish it out, you better be able to take it. But Lizzo's always put herself out there. And it's funny because, even the question wasn't even about her looks, it was about her music. But she puts so much focus on, her being big and all of this stuff, that it takes away from her musical talents. Because she's a very talented individual when it comes to making the songs that she puts out there. She's not making shit that sounds like everybody else. She has a very distinct style. And so always talking about, all day talking about me and always showing your ass and talking about, I can't even quote none of the stuff that she says, but it seems to always be about her weight, and she puts the focus there instead of focusing on her talents. So that's what people tend to focus on. It's never about the music. You don't see other, big people doing this stuff. You know them for their talents, from Adele to, who else can you think of? Adele's not necessarily big anymore, but you get the drift of what I'm saying. All the big rappers, B.I.G., Rick Ross, all of those guys. They make it about their music, their musical talents. But another thing is, could this be showing that Nah, I don't even want to say that. I don't even want to say that it's a man-woman thing, because men could typically take the abuse or anything like that, because she really wasn't no real, as far as people being outraged and trying to cancel him or anything like that. It wasn't like that. They dished it right back on him. Sent those shots right back on him and roasted Aries Spears. But he's been in the news, been getting a lot of publicity, more than what he usually gets. Also, I think the last time Aries Spears was really talked about was the whole situation with Corey Holcomb and Zoe Williams, where, you know, Zoe basically whooped his ass on air. They had that altercation up at the on the 5150 show on live. So, but Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish are being sued right now by two people. One's an adult and the other's still a minor. But this happened back in 2013 and 2014. They're going by the names haven't been disclosed. They're going by Jane Doe and John Doe. But it's basically, you know, alleging them of child pornography, you know, pornographic abuse, sexual abuse, by having them, you know, basically simulate sexual acts. Now, I've saw one of the videos, and I don't know what type of shit that Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish were in back in the day. They were into some silly, sick type of stuff. I saw one before where the Bill Cosby one, and where he's sitting up there putting a pudding pop on her mouth and stuff while she's using the bathroom or something. And just like I said, people have their own ways that they do comedy and they try to be edgy, but some of the stuff that they doing was just off seeing that, it was like, you know, what is this? It's just creepy. And now you have this come out, and yeah, it took me right back to when I saw that. This took me right back to when I saw that past clip. And this clip here, now it's not on the internet no more, but people found it on the web archive, so it was saved, and it's terrible. I wasn't even able to get through it. Couldn't get through it. It's basically showing a boy in his drawers, and it's supposed to be basically like a warning, a public service announcement about, you know, not leaving your kids around strangers and anything like that. But it's done in poor taste, and there's ways, I don't know, it's just me. I don't find it funny. Somebody else may find it funny or something like that, but I don't find nothing like that funny, especially when you have the kid involved in some shit like this. They got the kid basically in his drawers, you know, basically exposed and then simulating, you know, sexual acts, like he's sitting up there, you know, playing with the truck and got his legs open. It's terrible. I had to turn the thing off, man. Now, there's more to the video. I didn't see the rest of it. I don't know about the other video where the older woman explains that she was in, where they had her basically acting like she's performing fellatio in this video. And this is them as children. And they're doing it in a comedy skit. There's nothing fucking funny about that. Especially if you're trying to bring awareness to something. There's nothing funny about that. Nothing funny about that at all. If they were trying to be funny, hold on, I'm saying it wrong. What type of way of bringing awareness is that? You can tell the message without doing all of that extra stuff or trying to make it a comedic thing. Who does that? When you trying to make a PSA about rape or something, is that what you do? Who's going to laugh about that? It's silly. So, you know, it's just an attempt at trying to be edgy. Probably, you know, get people talking about y'all and stuff like that. But I don't know how y'all didn't see, even in the age that, you know, where it's not cancel culture, you know, even in the age where, you know, where people are accepting of stuff like that, it's still disturbing. You know, I ain't that type of dude. I don't be trying to, you know, I wouldn't even try to cancel them off of this. I'm not no canceling type of dude, but I'm not gonna fuck with you if this is what you think is acceptable. Not at all. It's disgusting, man. Well, people may feel otherwise. Now it's gonna be interesting seeing how this plays out. Also, they're saying that these kids were introduced through the mother. Through the mother, they were friends with Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears, and this is how they were introduced to. As a mother, this is what you find acceptable, your kids being a part of? It's crazy. Now, they're saying that the representatives for Tiffany Haddish, lawyers, are saying basically this is something the mother's been doing for years, been trying to sue, trying to get something basically like a shakedown of Tiffany Haddish, and it hasn't worked. It's been struck down each time. But now it's actually the kids themselves doing, or the were kids. Like I said, one's still a minor, but they're doing it themselves this time. And also on top of that, they said they're hoping for some charges to be filed with the Los Angeles Police Department. So going further, I don't know if they're even going to be able to make that happen because of how long it was. And not only just that, it's because, you know, it's acting, stuff like that. So I don't know if it falls under, you know, child P or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's terrible. It's terrible. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. It's funny though. It's funny the timing of all of this, especially after what he said about Lizzo, that this comes out right after that. I mean, just, you know, conspiracy theory, man. I'd have to say somebody who had extensive knowledge of that went ahead and dropped that at the right time, basically as payback for the words he said. But, you know, could be wrong. Could just be coincidence. But nonetheless, things like that do need to be seen. People need to be exposed, and the people who feel uncomfortable with that stuff, they have every right to criticize a person, especially for something just like I said, completely tasteless, man. It's disgusting. Couldn't even finish the damn thing. You leave kids out of stuff like that, even in movies, man. And I heard a lot of people saying, you know, what's the difference between what they're doing in that and a part being played in a movie? Well, half the time, I mean, well, not just half the time, but they don't do shit like that in movies. They don't do it. And even if they do have somebody who's abusing a kid or something like that, they have a certain way that, you know, they film that scene to where it's not graphic. It's not really graphic or anything, right? But, you know, just the stuff they were doing, all the close-ups that they were doing in this whole entire thing was bad. Even Funny or Die, the website that it was initially posted on, they said they had to come out and basically delete it because it was that bad. It was so terrible. So, I don't know, man. Horrible video. Horrible video. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Let me know what you think. Did it go too far? Is everything all fair game and comedy? Nothing's off limits. And we talking about not just comedy, but, you know, comedy acting, comedy skits. Is there anything that's off limits, or is it all fair game to get a fucking laugh? Let's not just say just comedy, but you doing like they claim to be doing awareness and having a kid performing those acts, or performing the acts that were in the video, and you know, being dressed the way they were. Nah, that's a definitely hell nah. Me personally, I'm not fucking with you if that's what you want. It sounds like some like they accusing them of some grooming, some Hollywood type of BS, and we know what goes down in Hollywood and in, you know, in the elite circles. Epstein Island. So, like I said, let me know what you think in the comment section, and I will holler at y'all later.